Good morning, everyone. When disaster strikes in life, it reveals much about our life and our character and who we really are, the real you. When something really bad happens or something is taking place in life, in our lives, or whether in life in general, it tells a lot about who we really are, what we're made of, we could say. And whether we will be able to withstand the severity of the disaster will depend on the foundation that we build our life on. And Jesus gives us some good advice about building our life on something sound, stable, secure, steadfast and solid, so that we can survive the severity of the disasters of life, when the weather changes, in other words. And part of Jesus' parabolic teachings on the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew chapter 7 and verse 24 to 27, it says, "Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them," he said, "I will liken to a wise man or a wise person who builds his house or his life on the rock." Verse 25 says, "And the rain descended," a surety of what happens in life. It says, "And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat on the house, and it did not fall, for it was founded upon the rock." Verse 26 says, "But whoever hears these sayings of mine and does not do them," he said, "I liken him to a man or to a person who builds his house on the sand." He said, "And the rain descended and the floods came, and the wind blew on the house, and it fell." And then it says, "And great was the fall of it." And that's the reality of some people's lives, because their life is not built on something that's solid. And we need to build this morning to withstand the storms of life. And the reality of life is that storms will come. They'll come to us all. The storms of life will come. Severe things come. They come head on sometimes, in times that were unexpected, when we're least expecting them. We never know what a day holds. When a day dawns, everything can be fine the day before, but then something happens. It can be disastrous. And that's how we will cope, whether we will stand or whether we will fall, whether our life will be able to withstand the storms or the severity of what life throws at us or what life hits us with. See, failing to build, failing to build according to the code, many houses, buildings and lives will be destroyed. We know this in construction, that if a place, a building, a house, wherever the construction is built on something that's weak or not sure or not steadfast, that if it's not built, the foundation, what's underneath, what's going to be built on top of that, if that's not sound and secure, the building will not stand the severity of the weather. Especially in the country that we live in, we get some real severe weather, and it comes and begins to blow, and it comes against our life, and obviously those things fall. And that's what Jesus is talking about, the reality of the storms he's speaking about. So failing to build according to code will cause destruction in our life. See, Jesus made a parable between the storms and buildings and wise and foolish and sand and rock at the end of his Sermon on the Mount. And what he sought to do was, he sought to encourage people to act upon his sayings, to act upon his word. See, contrasting the difference between those who were doers and those who were just listeners. The doers are not just listeners. That's what he was talking about, to be doers. Verse 24 says, "Whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them," he said, "I will liken him to a wise man or a wise person who builds his house or his life on the rock." See, what I want to ask you this morning, are you just a hearer or are you a doer? Are you wise or are you foolish? See, your decision will depend on whether you will be able to withstand the severity of the storms of life, whether you're a hearer or whether you're a doer. What are you this morning? Are you foolish or are you wise? Are you foolish listening but doing nothing? Your life is built on the stand. Are you wise listening and doing something about it? That's a person who builds their life upon the rock. See, that's what we need to build our life on. We need to take the Word of God into our life. We need to bring it into the equation. We need to build our life and incorporate God into our plans, our decisions, different things that we're doing in life, because when we build on our own natural mentality or understanding, I want to tell you, life is mean and life can be very, very severe many, many times. And it's only where life is built upon the Word of God that we can withstand the storms of life. God bless you this morning.